Alright, so we're on to the next Flashpoint, the Arano Restoration, the attack on Panzyr. So it is a single short engagement, no consecutive deployments, and we get a BTA loot cache as our bonus reward. There are no tonnage requirements, but we are going to be, once again, dropping something a little bit lighter, just to make sure that this is, more of a contest than if we dropped in with an assault mech and 3 heavies. Perdition in orbit around Panzyr. Okay, welcome back to Panzyr. Commander Aggressively, Lady Arano and the Restoration Army are already fighting on the planet's surface, have been for weeks. Will be carried through Panzyr's orbital debris field and dropped onto the surface. Okay, we're going to be behind enemy lines, disrupting their supply chain. Okay, our help is desperately needed. Okay. Need someone to take the spaceport's control center away from them, and that someone is going to have to be us. Alright, well, that works. Chemical attack, 11,000 civilian deaths. Well, war crimes, it seems. That sounds bad. Seems like the best response. Alright. Saving aggression, Ares Convention, Perdition Massacre. So, sounds like a bit of a false flag. Let's go quick. And, ooh, okay, so it is actually 2.5, not 1.5, which is very nice. We will get some good salvage and some good money as a reward. Let's see. So this is left over from our previous deployment against Chris Kringle and Kringle's Crushers, which I did find very entertaining. But probably wouldn't be best for us to bring this many, well, heavier, better units, and we do have to clear things out so that we're not bringing more than 4, which is the restriction for Flashpoint's drop sizes. Unfortunately, that Goliath is not online quite yet, so we can't bring that. Today, I did make some light modifications to this guy to increase his armor. Ended up trading out an ERP PC, but you guys will see that in not too long. So what I'm thinking is we bring 1 heavy, 2 mediums, and a light. And I think that'll put us in a pretty good position. The question is, which? So I'm thinking the Timberwolf. Just because this thing is an absolute joy to pilot, so let's go ahead and bring him, with Barn Owl piloting, per usual. And let's see here, McWraith is good in the Ostrok, which bringing the Ostrok would be pretty nice, but it is another heavy mech, so that's above our weight restriction, unfortunately. And it really doesn't have that much stopping power, it's really just a tag carrier. So let's bring Mongrel and the Hunchback. A little bit of a peculiar mech, this one. Not the most reliable support, but I think a bunch of fun to play. We'll bring the Skyros and the Nova, and now we're left with 1 light mech that we want to bring. And we'll bring one of the Javelins. I think we'll bring, yeah, the triple medium laser. Javelin, and who's good in the Javelin? I almost want to put Slapdash in it because of that damage mitigation bonus, but I think that will work. So we'll put Slapdash in here just for maybe meleeing with this thing since it is quick, but also because of this ability, Defensive Formation, which we can activate in order to get 20% flat damage reduction, regardless of positioning, for our entire lance for 2 turns. So if we do encounter a little bit heavier opposition than we were expecting, this can come in quite handy. The Nova's armament has been changed a little bit in recent times, so now it's carrying double medium VSPLs, and a Streak SRM 6 along with the Streak SRM 4. With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right in. Alright, we've hit the drop. High Lady Kamea Arano telling us she's glad that we made it. Panzyr's debris field is no small challenge. Okay, okay. Engage the enemy. Right, this one. Okay.
Good hunting, Commander. You bring down the control center, and we'll handle the rest.
SRM carriers on radar. Yeah, so if we look here, there's one SRM carrier. There's probably a second one in the back, and a third over on the side, and these things got quite a bit meaner with Battletech Advanced as well, so they carry even more SRMs than they did previously. So let's see, at the top of this hill, we're going to try to move after some of these SRM carriers have taken their shot. It's a little bit quiet. I might turn up the sound there a little bit, but we'll see. Okay, so let's keep reserving. Yeah. Playing the usual race to initiative 1, I suppose. And what we can do is we can sprint with this javelin down to somewhere where it hopefully won't take much fire. So we'll hide behind this rock as much as we can. It doesn't protect us from our left side necessarily, but with a decent facing, those should still be frontal fire, or at least barely side shots from maybe that one bulldog. And we'll call that done. Now they have to move something, which they did, and it wasn't in our area. Okay, that's unfortunate. We do have a sensor lock available with the Nova, and just absolute trash accuracy. Okay. How many evasion pips can we get maximum here? So looks like 6. Yeah. Okay, so we'll take the 6. We are unfortunately exposed from the front arc against that SRM carrier, but we will go ahead and sensor lock it. Both for our own accuracy and, well, hold on just a moment. Let me turn up my volume here a little bit. There we are. That's a little bit better, I think. Okay, so we have moved them down to 6. Still, nothing here has moved for them, and I get the sinking feeling that it's not going to for a little bit longer. So we have to start moving things, and we have to start shooting at things because, well, not damaging anything in this long is a bit of a problem. So let's move the Hunchback up into cover. We still have a decent bonus from the relative height difference, and this is almost a coin flip, so let's go ahead and take it, and we do actually get lucky there and land that. Not enough to kill the SRM carrier, but enough to expose that side, so that we might be able to get it with some decent missile fire. And what we'll do for that is, we'd have to land 3 of those. It's not exactly the best odds I've ever seen. We could stay up high, but this limits us on our next turn. So what I'm thinking is we'll move down here, and we'll have to see if we get lucky with this shot with the ATM-9s. Not expecting much. Okay, so we land 1 hit on that exposed side, only dealing 8 damage. There's still 12 internal structure remaining, and that SRM carrier is still online. And now they get to move everything, which is not exactly ideal. Missiles coming in at the Nova, thankfully most of them missing. From that Striker Mark 1, which is the least of our worries at the moment. Okay, here comes the first carrier. Doesn't even land a single SRM. Oh, that's satisfying. Alright, not bad. Bulldog battle tank moving up, taking a shot at the Hunchback. And a big old miss there. Good for us. And now we've got, I believe, either 2 carriers, or what's this here in the back? Huh, 1 carrier, 1 bulldog left. Our Timberwolf will be able to absolutely light up that carrier on the next turn. Now that it doesn't have evasion to stay out of the way. And we can hopefully take the other carrier offline, the one that's already damaged, as well, with something like the Nova, maybe, or even the Javelin. That would be ideal. We could use our defensive formation here, probably would be a good decision. That's not in range of the smalls. This is, but it's a frontal shot. You know what? No guts, no glory. We're going to move this light mech directly down into the meat grinder here. Pop defensive formation for the 20% damage mitigation, and light up this SRM carrier. Are you kidding me? We needed to land a single laser hit to that damage side, and we couldn't. All of those shots. Let's see how many lasers was that? 7 shots from a side angle firing position. Okay, it was the wrong side. I'm an idiot. That's a right side shot that we just took. We have a damaged left side. Well, an exposed left side from the hunchback. We should have taken the frontal shot instead, but we didn't, because apparently I can't read. Shots coming in on our Nova. Does look like maybe 1 hitting. Not quite sure on that. They're moving on 5. Our Timberwolf's moving on 5. Let's reserve down to 6, and we'll take the hunchback over here. We can go in for another shot at the SRM carrier. It might be a bit of a waste, but I don't want that carrier to have the chance to fire. And at this point, the Gauss rifle should be able to blast through the front or the side here. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. And that carrier, after sinking altogether way too much of our firepower, is at least offline now. So we'll take what we can get. Let's reserve down to 5. With big sensor lock coming in, double sensor lock coming in on our Javelin. That's very bad for our survivability. So what we have to do, we have to take this other carrier offline, otherwise we're going to be having a lot of trouble surviving with that Javelin, in particular the next turn, because this guy moves over, unloads on the Javelin, and we're in a lot of trouble. So let's go up to the HEs. You know what? There's nothing like making shorts dead. And that one's offline. Very nice. Okay, so the 2 SRM carriers are down. We have 14 turns remaining to take out the generator there, the dropship control center, which means that we have to start really getting a move on, because we need to drive all the way down here. We need to get up that hill and take out their controller. We're going to reserve with the Nova. I'm hoping one of them gets close enough. Well, this is a clan mech. I can't melee them, so instead, we go for the Striker Mark 1 or the Bulldog. About the same armor, more internal structure on the Bulldog, which will make it harder to kill. And if we look at the armor placement, yeah, okay, that's about the same. I'll tell you what, let's go in for the Striker Mark 1, because it will be slightly easier to kill getting through that exposed structure. Unless we have, let's see, can I hit it with a short? Can I hit you with the short? No, not really. So the close deals much more damage, which I will trade that accuracy for that potential damage here with the VSPLs, the variable lasers. And we'll have to hope that our streaks hit. We land the VSPLs. Streaks don't fire, even at 70% chance, which is, by the way, why I'm not always partial to the streaks. I know their clustering rules are better, but at that point, carry something ballistic that does all of it into one position. Well, at least that tends to be my opinion, but I wanted to give it a try. It seemed rather thematic. And that's everything that we've got for this turn. So we're taking a little bit of return fire now. We're going to start getting within range of that turret, if we're not already. Oof. Big side shots coming into the Javelin, and that thing needs to move. and needs to move quickly, because my guess is that the other Bulldog is going to go into it as well. Let's see, yep, driving right up in front, landing a smattering of what looks like SRM fire, maybe some MG fire as well. And we're starting to lose armor on this thing. He doesn't have all that much, and that left arm has been quite significantly damaged. So this guy has to give us a right side facing if he wants to survive, and he does. So let's go here, we'll go in with a kick, and we'll try to take out this Bulldog. Don't think it'll work, not in one go, but that is a good kick, 45 damage going in there. And the smattering of laser fire, just not enough to bore through these up-armored tanks. Unfortunately, only 2 evasion, but we do have 60% damage mitigation, which is very nice. Actually, it should be 80% from the effects of let's see, cover, guarded, bulwark, plus we have the 20% reduction ability from Slapdash herself. Without that, we would have lost the arm. So taking that ability has already proven to be, at least in my opinion, a very good decision. We could get a rear angle shot on this Bulldog, but it still has 100 armor, so that's not necessarily a good option. Let's reserve down. Oof. Some heavy fire coming out of that javelin. Thankfully, not even exposing the arm, but we do need to get something else up there drawing fire. Let's see. Well, we probably didn't bring the best loadout for this mission, because these vehicles should be going faster than they are, and they're not. Taking some decent stability damage on the Timberwolf. It does build up if you sprint, which we did last turn, I think by necessity, but it's always the things that you think are necessary that aren't, that will end up being the reason that you get smacked in the face, which is not exactly what we want. So if we look at this guy, yeah, he's pretty damaged. Let's come up here with the Hunchback, do a precision strike just to really send a message, and we'll shoot 5 of those rotary AC2 shots just to try to finish that guy off. We do get, how do we get a pilot hit and not kill that mech? Or not the mech, the tank. Oof. Oh, come on. Alright. So not a lot of success coming our way, unfortunately, at the moment. We could jam more fire in with the VSPLs, but at that point we've used 3 of our mech's turns to kill a single vehicle, and we have to get all the way down there with a ticking clock. So let's see what we can do. We'll bring the Timberwolf down, and I think let's see what our accuracy is. It's pretty high. We are going to Vigilance to kill our stability damage, make sure that we're able to be on the move here on these next couple of turns, and we're going to go in at the Striker Mark 1 with everything we can. I still have to use these HEs just because we need to kill these tanks that badly. And it's barely enough. Well, okay, that would have been enough. Very well. I should probably be using standards now just to save the HEs for the inevitable mechs that we're going to face. There's a 50-tonner down there, so just a standard medium. But let's see, I want that Bulldog to move before my Nova. But I want our Nova to move before the other Bulldog on 3, which, okay, it looks like he's just reserved. A little odd, but alright. You won't see arguments from me. We'll run right up into the face of the damaged Bulldog and really try to take this thing offline. We do get it. So we've killed 2 tanks this round. Could be better, could be worse. Without the Timberwolf, we'd be in some real trouble here. And that's sort of, it's a consequence of my mech design philosophy. I like to have a fair amount of missiles, but missiles scatter, which doesn't exactly make them good for boring through a single point. But, you need them to bore through a single point to take out things like tanks. Even things like mechs. I mean, we just don't kill. This is a bit of a return to our early game problem in this campaign, where we just weren't killing things that quickly, right? We'd have to take the entire lance and shoot them at the same target, and maybe have a chance of taking one thing offline per turn, which just isn't very good. So let's take the Timberwolf, and that's about the best evasion we can get. But I do want to switch back to using those standards because we're running out of our HEs, and that's not a good thing. So let's move back to here. Oh yeah, that puts us in good range for the standards. The ATM-9 standard ammunition. And let's try to take this Bulldog offline. We do get enough. Okay. Switching turrets to friendly control will help us out. So that was definitely a useful kill. I wonder where those turrets are going to pop up. I don't quite remember. Let's reserve down now because I don't think they can see us. And we'll move in first with the Nova. We can go here. I think we will. And that looks like a Centurion. It is. See a 9AL. We can change our VSPLs onto... Well, it's too far away for the long range bracket. That's disappointing. Okay, so what we will do, we are going to precision strike him to move him down to later on the next turn. Just because we do have excellent initiative generation. A lot of those streaks clustered into... I thought it was a lag, but maybe not. A little bit of fire coming at the Nova. Not a bad thing. Misses. Probably a Panzer with that PPC, 35 ton. That would make a lot of sense. To me, anyway. And now we can come down here. And let's see if this Centurion enjoys Gauss rifles. And our full complement. We will precision strike on this guy as well. I'm trying to jam as much damage as I can into this guy. We do rip off that right arm. Centurions do usually carry most of their armaments on their right arm. So we can check that in just a second. A little bit of light fire coming in against the Nova. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. So we've spotted, let's see, 1, 2, 3 mechs and a smattering, looks like 4 to 5 turrets. But I think the turrets will switch sides here in a second. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, right. So we look at the Centurion. Yeah, we've pulled off his large laser. This guy looks like he might be carrying some more evenly split around than the standard CN9A configuration. Let's get... So we need to maintain that right side facing with this guy to avoid his left arm coming off. Slapdash wouldn't exactly be happy with me, I think. We'll say we're done there. We need to bring the Timberwolf up for our heavy fire support. Looks like a 4th mech. Standard lance. I'm not terribly worried about that. Mostly worried about doing this well, right? So, difference between completing a mission and completing it well. Okay. Oregon Directorate, Director Mech Warrior, ignore the turrets, concentrate your fire on those battle mechs. Fight for the Directorate. Yes, okay, so the turrets are now ours. And I think they will be able to do quite a bit of work here. Unfortunately, they are rather fragile. Only 1 hit location and not a ton of armor. But they don't benefit from the scattering that you can do on tanks. And it looks like we have, yep, a Panzer over here on the side. That was when I had that PPC. There's a Dragon. I'd love to get my hands on that. Not the best mech, but I like it. Hunchback 4G, carrying that AC-20, a Jenner, Trebuchet, Centurion, so 6 mechs all told. Let's go ahead and let our allies do some work. Those turrets. I think that orange wasn't an internal, I think it was damage on one of those buildings. PPC going in after the Javelin does miss, along with those missiles on the Panther. And the Panther would be a nice first target for us. We have to move quickly though, so more damage going in against the Hunchback. Not a lot concentrated in one place, it looks like mostly MGs or AC2s. AC2s and MGs, yeah, look at that. Let's keep reserving down, maintain our 7 evasion. I'd like them to shoot at something else, but the Jenner is, you know, front and center, so I should have expected that. I did kind of expect that, and it should be okay, at least for right now. So what we'll do, we'll come up here for even more of an elevation bonus, and let's see if we can really pound through this Centurion on this turn. We'll go ahead and precision strike him, so we've moved him down from 7 to 5. He probably had a pilot ability, letting him move a little bit quicker than he otherwise would have. And unfortunately we don't rip off anything else. But now that turret coming in from behind, sensors impaired. Let's take a look. Both of those side torsos are exposed. If we can get that other sniper turret to shoot at him, although he'd have a rear angle arc, so it wouldn't necessarily be the most helpful thing. But that Centurion should be pretty close to dead, which is nice. They finally do land an LRM on the Javelin 10F from the trench bucket, trebuchet, over in that corner. And let's keep letting our turrets go ahead and do things like that. So a nice sensor lock coming in. I would have rathered that turret fire, but they have stripped all 4 evasion pips from the trebuchet, which at least has its benefits. Okay, more fire going into the Centurion. And we could consider trying to take that mech offline, maybe with the Nova. So we do have good jump jets on here, so we can come down, get a little bit closer to the Centurion this turn and next turn. Let's do that. Streaks probably won't have the range to fire. We can only hit the long VSPLs, which takes their damage down to about 20. Not exactly ideal. Oh, but we do get the SRMs. It's a left torso destroyed, taking the arm with it, right torso destroyed, pilot ejection, and that mech is down. Very nice. 2 salvage parts, actually higher than I expected based off the damage that we did to that thing. And let's see, so if I move up this way, ooh, I get a rear angle on the Dragon, but not a lot of guns online for that shot. Yeah, probably not worth it. And the RSRM6s need us to be a little bit closer than we currently are, but we can fix that on the next turn. So we'll come up here. We're not going to use a precision strike because I want to save that accuracy bonus for next turn. We will go in to the trebuchet just because we have such excellent accuracy against it. And it looks like we open up a left arm there. We aren't able to follow it up with any sort of crit seeking, but yep, that left arm is open. And it's carrying an LRM-15, so taking that offline would be nice. Not critical, but nice. And the question becomes now, how do we keep the Javelin from getting fired upon by everything? And my answer is, we're going to run them up the center. Because why not? We're going to run them right up the center. Let's take a shot in trebuchet. Well, no. Take a shot in the Panther. And this is why. I want that thing moving on 7, not 8. So precision strike, slow him down a little bit. And now, on the next turn, turret firing in at the trebuchet, engine destroyed. Okay. Less work we have to do. Does make our choice of target a little bit superfluous from the last turn. That could have been better. But, oh well. Okay. Some fire going to the Javelin, those 7 evasion pips, really saving us here. And now we can take this Javelin, and I can't get around him. Why can't I get around him? There's only 1 move spot there. Not 2. I thought there would be 2. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Okay, how do we salvage this? We bring up the Nova as an additional target. Yep, right front and center. We could fire into that Hunchback, but our accuracy is not great. Let's change our range brackets on the VSPLs to close and do a precision strike. Really jam all the accuracy we can. And that Jenner, right leg destroyed, it's falling down. That thing has seen much better days. We do get a full knock. Down you go. Pilot is staying in. And those turrets are really starting to open up on the back and side arcs of the enemy mechs, which I am quite okay with. So now that Panther is going to move at 7. Firing into the Nova, missing. Piling some shots into the dropship, actually. But standing completely still, blocking us from getting around him. That's abysmal. So, what do we do? We do this. Overshoot your enemy's estimation of your own madness, as it were. Okay. Very nice fire going into the rear of that dragon, and that mech is down. Okay. Beautiful. We did get a little bit lucky there with the clustering and with our crits in that rear arc, but heck, you know. Right as I say, overshoot your opponent's estimation of your own madness. We get some benefit for it. and we have enough evasion that the Hunchback can't even punish us. But instead, it wastes its turn and exposes that rear arc to our mechs. So what we're going to do now is we do have to move to get sightline. Our rotary AC-2 is unfortunately jammed. Let's load a Gauss rifle shot. It does look like it hits that left arm instead of the rear arc. AC-2 is unjammed for next turn. Some sensor locks going down, no real benefit there, not stripping any evasion. I mean, yes, it damages their accuracy. Panther's right arm is ripped off, PPC destroyed. And I think I was worrying about this mission a bit too much at the start, but we were just making such slow progress, I had no real reason to be that optimistic. So, we'll move up now. Our ammunition is running dry on the ATMs. If we switch over to HE, we only have 24, which is only enough for about a volley and a quarter. So we'll turn off the ATMs, and we'll try to finish this mech off with just everything else that we've got. How much armor here? Let's try to jam this right into the CT. Large laser, if it makes it, do the job. And that Jenner is down. I don't really care to salvage the Jenner either, so really not bothered by that too much. Hunchback taking some fire. Panther firing in at the Timberwolf, lands what looks like one of the SRMs minus that 20% damage reduction we got from the Javelin. And now we do need to get a bit of a move on. Come up here and sprint, get a rear angle shot. Can I get? Yes, so I can get the rear angle shot from here. Just a little bit safer for other friendly fire if we need to keep shooting in. Let's go right on the hairy edge of being able to see him so that we don't get a rear shot of our own from that Panther, which admittedly only the SRM-4 is still online, but that could still be dangerous. And good shots going in. AC-20 ammunition causes that CT to go in from an ammo explosion. More fire going to the Panther, and that mech is down. Not bad. We still have 9 rounds remaining with which to take out this generator. So I think let's go ahead and start doing that. I'm not sure how to get... Do I have to go all the way around? I might. So let's go this way and come up on the side and go up there. Otherwise the Nova is the only one that has the jump jets capable of doing it. Let's take our Hunchback that's been doing some wonderful fire support work from the rear and move him up a little bit. Turrets will just reserve down as they have no more viable targets. Let's see, can I even get indirect fire on this thing with the standards? No, can't. So we're doing a little bit of just chasing the objective here. And I hope I can still kill it because I can't shoot anymore. Okay, enemy contact, yes. So that thing is brought back into being considered an enemy contact, but we still can't shoot this turn. Not until next turn, unfortunately. Once we're back into the combat instead of non-combat movement. But we should be able to chase it with the Javelin. I know it's getting close.
Prioritize targeting the control center, Commander.
Yes, well, we had to go through their defenses, and then sprint all the way over here with nothing else remaining on the field to fight us. So, give me just a hot second if you would. We'll reserve down to get the Timberwolf moving. And let's finish this thing off. So I'm going to turn off the ATMs just because there's no reason to shoot them. Still, SRM-6s should be able to put more than enough damage in, but just to end this with a bit of a bang, Battlelord for the extra damage, make sure we can really pile this home. And we do. And that is the mission. Alright, hang around if you guys want to see the BTA loot cache. Otherwise, if you are still hanging out, it would really help me out if you could give this video a like and a subscribe. Because you'd basically be the first to do so, which, hey, that's kind of cool, right? Otherwise, we'll see you around.
Mission successful.
Okay, 1.7 million C-bills because we did get a 50% increase from, I think, destroying everything. I'm not entirely sure, but, you know, not bad. We'll take the money. No lasting damage to any of our mechs. We were able to save that damaged left arm on the Javelin decently well. We did take more damage than I thought into that rear arc CT. A little bit worrisome, not a lot of armor there, but well, he's alright for right now. Okay, so we got our pick of 4 salvage. We could build ourselves a Bulldog, but I really haven't been feeling mechs. We could change that just for a little bit of pizzazz. Unfortunately, the Dragon's ammo explosion gave us only 1 part from that, same with the Hunchback. I'm not really sure that I'm that interested in all of this salvage. I think we will actually get most of it just from our sheer amount. I think it was what, 412 or 413. So let's take the 2 Centurion pieces, the Dragon piece, the Hunchback. If nothing else, it's sellable. See what else we get. Yeah, some mech parts. Lots of SRMs. 8. Let's see, 12 SRM6s, 4 SRM4s. A couple engine cores. Those are good money, if nothing else. Okay, Lady Kamea Arano, we've done it, thanks to our efforts. Restoration Army has broken the director to hold on Panzyr. Very nice. We picked up another ally, and the Restoration is growing in support. Well, no real good thematic answer there that would suit Bomb Squad, so I just took, well, that fact is, the fact that we care is why we're on her payroll rather than a less principled company. Yeah, I'm sorry, but we are a less principled company. The game just doesn't let us be one. But we'll do our best. So, okay, long way from Cormadir. Contacts in the inner sphere supplying our opponents. Something we may want to see, something strange in the cargo bay. Why don't I like the sound of that? I found something weird on the ancient ship. Yeah. Spacers say in horror movies right before everyone starts dying. That is pretty funny. Let's see. Spare parts, Starleague era encryption software. Lost tech. Very nice. Starleague era data archive. We should open it. Okay. So that basically sets up the next mission. We have to go liberate someone who can crack this code for us. And let's see what we get. BTA loot cache. $300,000 payment plus $350,000 just from the loot cache. And we got some nice X-Pulse lasers. 1 large X-Pulse, double medium X-Pulse. These two give +2 accuracy. They're multi-shot as well, so they roll their accuracy each individual shot. So it's basically like 3 10 damage lasers you have to fire all at once. I don't necessarily love that though, because that means that they scatter. Also 1 part of a Royal Kintaro, which I would like to field that. That would be a lot of fun. Okay. That's all of our loot, and that's the mission. So we're going to get this Santa's sled from the last mission up and running. You guys will see that on the field very shortly. And with that, thank you all for hanging around.